I've said it once and I'll keep continuing to say it. These radical individuals on both sides of the aisle, they're trying to frighten you by telling you, oh, this is bad. They throw pseudoscience at you saying, oh, it hurts your brain, makes you dumb because of sex and all this type of nature that they keep throwing at you. Porn is bad. Video games are bad. Music is bad. And the thing is, they have an agenda. And I'm not saying it's everyone on the left. I'm not saying it's everyone on the right. And I'm not saying everybody on the center. It's certain groups. And the thing is that we have to sit there and focus on that. And see, the thing about it is everybody criticizes completely the left and completely the right. And don't realize is that there are good people out there on both sides of the aisle. The thing about it is now is that we have to know which person it is in those groups that are doing the job that they were sent to their positions to protect our Constitution, to help the people of the United States of America. And we're talking Americans. Yeah, that's right. We're talking Americans. Because now what we have here, and you've clicked on, you're saying, what the hell is going on here? Yes, a conservative think tank, a major one. If you haven't heard about the Heritage Foundation, they're thinking with this new election that they're going to push to end recreational sex. That means premarital sex. They want to get rid of that you cannot have sex until you are married. This is the thing some people have been brought up in science fiction novels, 1984, a couple of other TV series that have been out there, Handmaid's Tale, and many others, that they said, oh, it's just false, it's just fiction and stuff like that. But now we're starting to see that some of this stuff is coming forward, that they're trying to push this ideology. As a person who is Catholic, who's worked in the church and all that, it is an abomination to our religion. Because it's control. It is control through religion. This is what they do. Bringing up something that was on this week that I've been watching is Shogun. And if you haven't seen Shogun, that's the one on Hulu on there. One of the premises on there is that the Portuguese Catholics are trying to take control of new lands that, through religion, new lands that are non-Christian. And if you, sorry if I ruin it for some people, then it's by episode 2 on there. But this is something that's within historical events. This is why we have in this country separation between church and state. For that reason. We have freedom of religion in this country, but to control it the way that they're talking about it, this is how the Middle East Arabs do control their people through religion. And we're going to read this into XBiz. Conservative groups plan to criminalize porn as part of a campaign to end all recreational sex.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot. It's serious because...
And of course, this is by Gustav Turner. Hat tip to him. A 2023 X post by the Heritage Foundation in which the influential conservative tank call for an end to recreational sex has resurfaced in the wake of the Alabama Supreme Court recent ruling that frozen embryos are legally children. The May 2023 flag the 2023 post replying, "It is not just abortion, trans health care, or porn. one of the most influential conservative groups in the country, is now calling for the government to end recreational sex. Leading conservative culture war crusader Chris Rufo defended the 2023 statement, posting, "Recreational sex is the large part of the reason why we have so many single mother households, which drives poverty, crime, and dysfunction. The point of sex is to create children. This is natural, normal, and good." See, they're going to try to, again, they're trying to put blame on boogeymen that basically there is no science backing this. What we have in this country here, yes, we do have children that do not have fathers. This comes from a broken education system that has been going on for many, many years. And of course, what they're teaching the kids in the schools is do not have the family. Do not have the nuclear family. The nuclear family is racist. This is what they're teaching them in schools. They're teaching them that, if you don't, and we're talking grammar school. We're not talking high school. We're talking grammar school. They're teaching, well, if you don't feel this way, maybe you're not the gender that you're supposed to be. And this is the thing that they throw into people's heads. You look at the education standards now today, and Baltimore is the perfect example. You have tons of kids that cannot read, write, do arithmetic, that's graduating high school and going into college with no expertise in those fields, that they don't know what they're doing. They're getting pushed into college while the school system is making money off them, and they don't have an education. Let's move on. The term recreational sex originates in religion, particularly Catholic discourse that considers the sole purpose of sex to be procreation. The mainstream among conservatives of the war on recreational sex parallels a current effort to revive enforcement of the infamous 19th century Censorship Comstock Act in order to restrict access to abortion, medication, birth control, and contraceptive, as Rolling Stone reported. Yeah, and that was a really nasty time period, and even the time period prior to that. There was so much that was going on, and you hear, for those of you too young to know that, I know I have those in the 20 plus range there, that they used to do abortions with hangers back in the day. It's horrific for what things that were done. See, the main thing is that they don't tell you is responsibility. Responsibility. The only person you have to do is that you blame yourself, when it comes to pregnancy. If you're going to have sex, okay, if you're going to have sex, wear protection. Wear protection. If you're a woman, protection also for yourself. Birth control pills and stuff like that. If you don't want to have a child, you have these people blaming. They go like, well, they get drunk and it's the guy's fault if the woman and the man gets drunk. Well, the man's drunk, the woman's drunk. Should be both ways around. It's two to tango. Everybody wants to put blame on everybody else, but not within themselves. That's the important part. You have to remember, we have to take responsibility for the actions that we do ourselves. As experts reported, the Heritage Foundation leads Project 2025, a coalition of conservative organizations whose roadmap for the next Republican presidential administration includes a call to immediately outlaw all pornography and imprison people who produce it and distribute it, which is a violation of the First Amendment. We could flip it back to the time the Supreme Court decision on the Hays Code Act, and the reason why that failed in that the Hays Code Act was dissolved was because it violated the Constitution, the freedom of speech. People say, well, porn is not freedom of speech. Sure it is. Sure it is. It's making a movie. Well, it just has sex in it. So does a lot of R-rated movies today. Fatal Attraction, Body Double, Dress to Kill, Every 1980s kids teen movie, teen romp movie has some sort of sex in it. Soap operas, which, there's no full nudity, but you have sections of romance and love in there. And also recreational sex. There are TV shows that have it that nature. There's a scene. We were just talking about the Shogun. There is a scene. There is a sex scene in the Shogun on there. Would you want to have basically that outlawed? Think about that before you comment below there, because this is what they want to do. They want to censor things they deem obscene. Not that it's pornography. Not that it's anime. Not that it's an action movie. That it's basically they deem it obscene. Remember, years ago, you had George Carlin, Lenny Bruce were arrested on obscene charges of the comedy that they produced. Remember that. Because it's the same groups that are here today that are doing the same thing they did in the 1960s and 70s. Project 2025 mandates for leadership blueprint includes the call to criminalize all adult content. Now remember, they say adult content. Again, R-rated movies. Anything for anyone over the age of 18. It's not they're going after the porn. They're going after everything that is made for adults. Was first reported on the Byron Tannehill in an August 2023 feature for Dame magazine. In the piece, Tannehill quotes from the introduction to the conservative policy road map, which declares that pornography has no claim to the First Amendment protection and states pornography should be outlawed. The people who produce it and distribute it should be in prison. Educators and public librarians who purvey it should be classified as registered sex offenders. And telecommunications and technology firms that facilitate its spread should be shuttered. See, the thing about it is also, let's put it in this other perspective. There's a couple of novels out there that on there. One of them is Fanny Hill. If you've not known this book is one of the most criticized books in history when it comes to obscenity. This book has been banned many times because of its depiction of sex. But it is a classic novel. It has been made multiple times, not by pornography, but regular Hollywood productions and overseas productions as well. I believe over at the BBC, was it the BBC? One of the companies out there in England produced a version of this movie as well. I mean, you're talking about a classic novel that will be up to the par of Shakespeare. But people, because of its talk of sexual relationships, of sex, they deem it obscene. See, it's just like the book I told you about, The New Puritans. This is what's going on. These people want to revert time back to a point because they believe that every problem is resolved because of the violence on TV, because of the violence on the video game, because of the music that kids listen to. Now, these days, I don't like some of the music on there. And some of it, grinding back and forth, some of these people are okay. Some of these politicians are okay with those people because they've been invited to the White House and to basically political events. They have no problem with that because of the color of their skin. But the thing about it is, when you have heavy metal bands, rock bands, many others that have been criticized for decades, saying, Twisted Sister is sadomasochistic, which they were told in a subcommittee meeting, and they're like, no, you don't understand our music. There was like one particular song that was talking about one of the band members was going under the knife and how afraid he was to go under the knife of an operation. To Tipper Gore, she thought they were talking about S&M. And she believed that there was a t-shirt out there with a girl strapped up, tied up from the back, laying down on the t-shirt. And T. Snyder told her that, there is no such shirt. As far as the Twisted Sister, the organization itself that, runs the whole thing, and they've never made that kind of t-shirt. See, it's the misconception that they tell you. They tell you that, that porn rots the brain. Listen, they were telling us video game and TV would rot the brain. They got rid of Saturday morning cartoons because they want to say kids are not getting enough education out there. Well, how's our education standards today? They're in the shithole. Yeah, and I keep pushing this because it's the truth. Understand out there, and I know my BitChute viewers out there, and some of them are very religious, and it's like, understand, this is not an attack on religion in a whole. This is an attack on certain people that basically think that they're better than us, than all of us in a whole, that they want to make the rules on that. No, we have a constitution for a reason. And it's been around for a long time. And our forefathers wrote these rules into there because they knew these rules will be challenged decade after decade, year after year, day after day, month after month. You're talking about people who disagree with what you're watching. See, those of you out there, like I said, think of it in the reverse. Think about it in the reverse. And it's happening. There are those out there who want to have Christians stop praying, in churches. They want to get rid of the Christian church. Think about that. There was someone overseas that was singing in the streets. I think it was in the UK, and they were ticketed because they were singing Christian music, a Christian song in the streets. That it was illegal. When did that happen? When did that fucking happen? But see, this is the thoughts that is happening around the world and including the US. So tell me in the comments below, what are your thoughts about this? Because, the stupidity of this. You're not going to stop people from having sex, even if you make it illegal. That's the thing. People get, how can I say it? Sometimes you need to scratch an itch. Sometimes you need someone, at a time when you need to talk to somebody that you need to be, if you're in an emotional state. And sometimes it does happen. Sex does happen. And I'm not talking about alcohol, drinking a lot of alcohol, smoking a lot of pot. I'm talking about a moment that, sometimes, what's the old joke? I just need to be held. But, this is what, they want to get rid of. Yes, there's single mother households, but we need to push the nuclear family once again. We need to teach our youths that it's not a bad thing to get married at a certain age, to have children by a certain age, to have a family, to be grandparents. This is the family outlet. Remember, there was a time, even with minorities, that the family unit was strong in this country, very strong, at a time when basically we were at war. So once again, comment, like, share this video, and hopefully today's the day I've earned your subscription. We're over 1,000 subscribers. Let's keep it going. We want to get to 2,000, our next level on there. So once again, thank you for tuning in. Stay strong, question everything, and we'll see you next time on another edition of Man with the Show on Q2Cast TV.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel, as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are two ways listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.